Welcome to the Devil Walks Among Us podcast. Join Michael and Eric as they discuss scary movies. What's your favorite scary movie?
Welcome to the Devil Walks Among Us podcast. As always, I'm Eric, and with me is Michael. And Michael, we have a special guest today. Why don't you introduce him?
Well, he is none other than Josh Petrino, and he is involved with an upcoming horror movie that we will let him discuss. Say hey.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Always good, always good. All right, and for our listeners, you may notice that we have changed the name. It used to be It's Just a Dream Podcast 2.0. That's still kind of out there, but Michael and I are rebranding, kind of offshooting to the Devil Walks Among Us podcast. And in case you're wondering where that name came from, it came from the remake of Halloween, or Halloween 2, one of them. That's Michael's thing.
I love it.
I'm more the OGs, but he loves the remake. So
I'm sorry, shoot me, but I will always forever love those movies. The second one's not as good, but damn it, it's a good movie.
All right. And like you said, today we have Josh Petrino with us, and he's working on there's a movie coming out he directed, Devil's Tree, The Devil's Tree. And I was looking at the synopsis, and this sounds like a story I've heard before about the Devil's Tree. Like, I think I was thinking it was here in Georgia, but I think it's up in New Jersey. Is that like the inspiration from it?
Yeah. It's there's a tree in New Jersey that has like this crazy history, supposedly. I mean, I don't think any of it's founded, to be honest with you. I think it's been determined that there is nothing to back it up. But it's a tree in Jersey, and it's supposed to, there's all this mythology behind it. Like, it's supposed to be a gateway to hell. People say you can't cut it down. People have tried to like burn it. You go to the tree and you do see a lot of cut marks and like burn marks and stuff like that. People chase you away. People have been hung in the tree. People, there's a whole slew of rumors that have gradually grown throughout the years. If you touch the tree, you die in a couple days. It's like it's a wealth of just ghost stories. And but a lot of people know about it, and it's kind of weird where it has this it's kind of made an impression. The stories have been around for a very long time, and they continue. And I meet people in California, and I'll have friends introduce me as like, oh, he's directing a movie called like The Devil's Tree or whatever, and they'll know of the tree like through a friend that lives in Jersey or something like that. So it's cool. We got a lot of little urban legends in New Jersey. It's been in Weird New Jersey, that magazine that all horror geeks probably know about.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know, it's just a cool built-in thing. So I was like, why don't we just work off that? So I did.
I'm glad to hear that, because I had either heard about it again, The Devil's Tree, like a few months ago, and I was thinking that would make a good movie. And then it comes out Jonathan Davis is in it, and of course that gets widespread recognition.
Which I want to say, how did you manage that, man? Like, how did you get him on? Are you guys close, or did you have a connection with him? How did that work for you? Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, so ever since I was a kid, I've loved metal, and the first Korn album, I got into it through my sister, who didn't like it, and it was like kind of like a hand-me-down, like, here, you take this kind of thing. And then in the latest Peachy Father later days, I was going to shows at like 12, 13 years old, and I met Jonathan a couple times, and it was just interesting, I guess, seeing like a young person, go to these shows. And then, um, I always tried to make an impression. And then I worked on as a moderator. They had this like thing called Corn Corner. It was like this chat room thing, and it was like it was through this program called the Palace, and you'd have these like little avatars that you can draw. And I used to be pretty good at drawing on the computer, like even in MS Paint, I could make like really crazy things. So I started working for them as like a moderator, and Jonathan and some of the other band members would come in once in a while and do Q&As. So as a moderator, I was able to talk to him a little bit more. And I was friends with people who ran Corn Corner. And then it was like, they happened to be from New York. So then it was like, hey, come to a show, come to a show, come to a show. And I feel like as a lot of metalheads, and specifically probably people who used to listen to Korn or still do listen to Korn, I've probably been through some. Can I curse? I'm assuming I can. Okay, I just want to make sure. I didn't want to like cause you extra work bleeping out every 2 seconds or anything.
Oh no, go right ahead.
Awesome. But a lot of people have been through some shit that listen to that kind of music, and I was one of them. And anytime I met him, I like, I kind of gave him something I thought he would think is cool. And it started with like a thank you letter, but then I gave him a copy of Weird New Jersey, actually, ironically enough, because I was like, he'll probably dig this. I don't know, it's weird. Like everybody like wants something. Like nobody likes to give something, So like he just remembered me. Like after all these years, I had been to enough shows and met him enough times, and just kind of kept to myself, didn't like rush him, didn't like act weird. Everyone's just a person when it comes down to it. And I would talk to him like about things he was interested in, and ask him how he was doing, and ask him how his family was and stuff like that. And then when Head left the band, I kind of stopped like listening to Korn and moved on to I got older. I just listened to other stuff like as time gets older, as time goes on. And then it circled back around. I was doing this movie, and I was like, who can we get to do, to play this villain? Who's gonna nail it? And at first we talked to Dave Brocky, and then Dave passed away.
Yeah.
And it was like that hit hard because I loved Guar.
Yeah.
Going to Guar shows and stuff. I mean, you like horror and you like music, and you gotta love Guar, And so he passed away, and then like, after the dust settled on that, it was kind of like, well, now what? I was like, let me just take a shot. Let me email Jonathan's manager, reintroduce myself, see if he remembers me. And the dude has a memory like an elephant, because he won't say that he does. He's like, oh, I banged my head and I don't remember shit. And maybe that's true now, but he remembered very vividly things that I didn't even remember, And he was like, yeah, let's do this. It sounds cool. It sounds like it's right up my alley. I'm down. And I flew out to Bakersfield, and then we did it. And then we ended up having to do it again. And I flew out to Bakersfield again a couple of years later, and he's in the movie. So it just kind of, it wasn't like a by chance thing. It wasn't like a, it wasn't like a who thing as much as it was like I kind of chipped away at it for years, making an impression and just being nice, and and it made it, it made a lasting impression with him, and he was like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. And he's one of the nicest people. I've met a lot of people in both music and film over the years, and he's still to this day one of the most humble and nicest people I've met, like that, or in general, honestly.
That's cool to hear.
Yeah, I was actually fortunate enough to see them this year on the Stain tour, and I got to see them in Atlanta front row, so it was really cool. And then at the end, where they're like throwing guitar picks, Head actually threw this like really
Giant one?
huge, like yeah, and it was like a really really big one, and
Yeah.
it's got a picture of him, I guess, as like Conan the Barbarian. I guess that's the image he was going for, but he signed it, dude, and like it was such an experience. I never got to see Korn, but you know. I got to see him now. You know, the thing with Fieldy not being able to be on this tour was a bit of a bummer, but it was still a really good experience. I caught him pre-COVID, so I got to see him standing up the whole show.
Nice.
But it was a great show, man, and like I was really excited to hear about this movie. You know, Jonathan Davis doing a horror movie, and then seeing the back history because I'm actually from New Jersey myself. I'm from Toms River, New Jersey, so
nice.
So it was really cool to hear your backstory and hear how this came about and you know his involvement with the movie as well. I know we said we talked about the back, where this story is about. It's about the history of that, of the myth, and then having Jonathan Davis. But what is this movie actually about?
It has very little to do with the tree. Believe it or not. Like this movie has been, it's been an awesome experience, and it's also been I'll say a learning experience. And I knew I wanted to make a movie around it. And then when you sit down to write a script, you're like, how do I write a script about a fucking tree? Like it's not gonna be, I'm not making a killer tree movie, The Happening beat us to that, or The Ruin.
Well, I imagine it's a lot better than The Happening.
What's that?
I still like the movie.
I imagine it's a lot better than The Happening.
Oh, we'll see.
I hope so.
Yeah, I do too. Although that movie, if you look at it as a comedy, is a lot. It's fun. It's a good popcorn. It's just so dumb. Mark Wahlberg talking to a fake plant and then going, "Oh my god!" Like, come on, like you can take that seriously.
We're gonna walk.
I'm talking to a plastic tree
or whatever.
But yeah, I hope it's good too. It's just, it's about a group of friends who go to the tree. They, just like people do. Like if you look on YouTube now, there are YouTubers and influencers and all that shit going to literally the Devil's Tree in Basking Ridge, New Jersey, and like they're like, oh my god, I think I saw something. There's like fucking nothing there. Or they're like, I'm so scared to touch it, and then like they touch it, they're like, I lost a baseball game. Yeah, it's real. Like it's stuff like that. But it's about a group of friends who basically does that. And they're 30, they're not teenagers, they shouldn't be doing this. I myself am kind of a man child, so it's kind of like what me and my friends would do. And they go there on Halloween, they try to live up to the legend a little bit. They end up breaking a piece off, which isn't supposed to be something you can do, but they did it. They host this house party. And when it's a house party, in movies, you always see like the red cups and like there's like 60 people and like, like a DJ in the house or some shit. This is just like a real party, like a boring, like not enough people showed up and we forgot to get like half the stuff we need for it to be a party type party. And, the piece that they broke off the Devil's Tree, it gets burned. And that it's, it turns out the tree kind of belongs to someone or something, and it summons them. And then they, killing begins.
Well, that definitely sounds awesome.
Oh, it's stupid. I know it sounds stupid. I hear myself say this stuff. But you know what, man? Sometimes you just, there are movies that are really deep and dark and are brilliantly written. Okay. Like I love films like, like Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance is an amazing movie. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
director of Oldboy. That movie is beautifully written. And then there are movies where it's like, how do I kill all these people? like, how do I work some good kills in there and throw some laughs and just have a good time? This is 100% a popcorn movie. This is not meant to be taken seriously. This is not meant to be cooler than it is. We don't have the budget for that kind of thing. If you want to make a movie that looks cool and is takes itself seriously, you need either a lot of time, which we've taken, but I'm not counting it. A lot of time, a lot of money, or a lot of really good people involved. And we've had none of those things except for time. So it's not meant to be taken seriously. It should be a fun movie, but it is. Thank you for saying it's awesome, because I know the plot sounds stupid. Like, I have been told by many
some of the
people.
best movies have like plot. If you do the plot for some of the best movies, they're kind of dumb sounding. I really don't think it sounds that dumb. It sounds like right up my alley.
Thank you. It takes a good director, right? Terminator's about a robot that goes back in time and trying to kill like a pregnant lady. If you put that in the wrong hands.
If you break down Terminator, your head will explode.
Yeah, right.
Especially after all those sequels.
Yeah, it's about the production design and the director and cinematographer and actors. Like, everything has to come together to make a movie good. Yeah, it's been a trip. It's been a long time too. So I'm glad to get it out there. I don't want to say get it over with, but it almost feels like, it's going to be a relief once it comes out. I am staggered by the reaction we've been getting involving Jonathan Davis. Like, friends are calling me and they're like, they talked to you on this radio show, like it's been, or talked about you on this radio show, or like, Loudwire puts it out and then there's like, 30,000 likes on Instagram about it. And it's like, God damn, man, I wasn't expecting this kind of thing. I guess involving Jonathan, I should have, but I've been so like doubtful and have such a lack of confidence about this film that it was a nice wake up call. It was cool to see.
And I really enjoyed the poster for the movie as well. I thought it looked like really fucking cool, like how it's like stacked up like that. To me personally, it's awesome. And I actually we looked over your IMDb, and your involvement and stuff was actually pretty cool. I seen you involved like with like Wilfred and stuff like that. So how'd that come about?
So it's kind of crazy. I've always wanted to make films and kind of be a director. And, the only way to tell this is like in a roundabout way, kind of. So I wanted to do visual effects, and I was like pricing it out, and it was like astronomical. I was like, well, maybe I can do it myself. And so I started teaching myself visual effects, like on the computer. And, I've always had an interest in special effects, but, not visual effects. It's not the CG, CG mode of it. I've always kind of not liked CG, except for Jurassic Park and like old school CG where it's like, how'd they do that,
There's some good ones out there.
Yeah. And, people knock it, but I was playing around and I was like, well, what if I take two real objects that are in the same lighting environment? Because it's always the lighting that I think knocks CG off from when I was studying it. And I was like, what if I take two practical elements and then put them in the same lighting and then mix them together using CG? Maybe I can get some cool results that way. So I had, a friend of mine who helped me test all this out. I was hoping he could be here, but he's not. He's a little busy. We took this melon and filled it with blood and put a wig on it and smashed it with a baseball bat. And we had our friends lay down in the same exact position, the same lighting. And we made it look like he like jerks around a little bit. And we just mixed the two together. And because it's two objects that are real, that have textures, that are accepting the same lighting in the same environment, it looked sick. It looked, you see this guy's face like get crushed, you know, and at no point is there like a weird cut or anything, you know, like it looks like pieces of his face are like exploding. And so I put it on I was filming a horror convention, and I put it on a PSP, and I was talking to some special effects guys, and one of them was Steve Johnson, who Ghostbusters, and you know, like you guys probably know who he is. And
Yeah.
I gave it to him, and he was like, "What? You did this? How'd you do this?" And he's like, "Yo, Rob," and he goes to this guy, Rob Hall. Check this out. And Rob looked at it, and he was like, "How the fuck did you do this?" And like he rewound it and played it and rewound it and played it. He's like, "You did this yourself?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You did this in After Effects?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is software I use." He's like, "Come here." And like he called me over to his table and he talked to me, and he was like, "If I send you some shots, I'm working on a movie. I'm working on Laid to Rest 2.
Chrome Skull,
You know, if I send you some shots, or you know, would you be willing to do them?" And I was like, "Sure," you know. And I think he thought that I was a little more advanced than I was, based on the head smash, you know, clip. And he was like, cool. And he was like, "Yeah, I'll see what I can do about paying you. We're in a rush, and I could use all the help I can get." And I liked the first Laid to Rest. I was like, "Oh, cool, the Chrome Skull guy, you know."
Yeah, I love that movie.
You know, yeah, it's very underrated. And so sure enough, I get a call like a month later. I wasn't expecting it really. I kind of thought it was like, just forgotten about, you know. And Rob had me working on Chrome Skull, and he gave me shots, and I figured out how to do them, and I sent them back, and he was very happy with them. And then you know, a few months later, I worked on like Chillerama for Adam Green and stuff, which was like, oh man, that movie.
I'm actually looking at your IMDb right now, and I'm like, I wanted to cut in like Chrome Skull, Chillerama, Hatchet 3, and you're bringing them up, so I'm like, okay, keep going.
Yeah, it's like, you know, Chillerama was a trip, man. It was like,
What'd you do on Chillerama? Like
a lot. There is a handful of VFX, and if you watch the first one, Wadzilla, like the campiest one that I think, with the Kyoto brothers, like made this like giant like sperm thing that like attacked Eeyore. It was basically myself and one other person, and so we did a lot. And they were like, he's like, the good news is it doesn't have to look too good. Like we wanted to look cheesy to some extent, so there's not a high bar. All right. And
well, it fits that. That's what they were going for, basically. It's like a 50s movie. And that's just them anyway, I think. Like,
so yeah, exactly. I did a lot of effects on that. One of them is like the Statue of Liberty like strips and like dances. That was like, you know, and I'm learning this shit as I'm going along too. I did not have like, I was not prolific in it at all. Or proficient, prolific. I was not proficient in it at all. So I had to like watch tutorials like as I'm working and try and turn this thing in. And I didn't want anybody to know about it. It's kind of like jumping off a cliff and building your wings on the way down, you know? But I delivered. I worked on that, and Joe Lynch's part, which was like the wraparound zombie movie, it was called, and that's the one with like, you know, like zombies attack or whatever. And in the meantime, I was friends with this guy, this kid, a friend of mine introduced me to. He was like 17 or 16. His name's JD Lifshitz, and he was a director, super into horror, super nice kid. And he was moving to LA to start a production company. And he's like, "Josh, you gotta quit your job. You gotta come to LA." I'm like, "Dude, I can't afford to live in LA. I can't just pick up and move." And he's like, "If you come to LA, you can live with me for free and just pay me in visual effects. So whenever I need you to do something, you just do it." And it's like, "And I'll support you until you can afford to pay rent, because I think you'll get to that point very quickly." And I was like, you know, fuck it. What have I got to lose? So I went to LA. As soon as I was out there, I reached out to Rob Hall, And I was like, hey, man, I'm in LA. Let me know if you need someone to sweep the shop floor or something, like just looking for anything. And he was like, he called me and was like, yeah, I wouldn't have you sweep the shop floor, dude. You do good work. Come work for me. And so I worked with Rob, and Rob put me on Wilford. For season 2, I was a visual effects supervisor on a few episodes. I did some VFX behind the scenes on that, on Teen Wolf, and a handful of other projects. And then, at the same time, I was like trying to produce stuff. I rewrote a movie called Contracted, and kind of went back and forth with the director as a writer on that and a producer to try to like put it together and make it happen. And then I said, you know what, I'm at a point now where I think I could do it myself. I need to go home and try to make my own movie. Because you try to do it in LA, no.
No,
They
I
want like
imagine everybody's up there
$5,000.
trying to do it.
Exactly, but you come to Jersey, it's like, oh, can I cook for you? Can I, people are excited. It's an exciting thing. It's not something that happens here often. So if you want to rent a diner in LA, it's going to cost you a few grand a day. Where in Jersey, it would be free, and they might make us food. Plus all my resources are out here. And you have an endless environment. We got the Pine Barrens, which have like weird aspects of like desert in the middle of them. Sometimes we got the beach, we got mountains. Anything you want is in Jersey. So I worked on a few things, came back, worked on some more things, and it's just all been word of mouth. I don't have a real I don't really have a resume. People keep referring me, and I keep taking jobs, and some are great, some are small. I randomly worked on Split.
Yeah.
It's just it's kind of like a crazy thing, and it's all been coming back to I just want to make movies. I just want to make something. Like, I love horror. If I can make horror movies, solely, I would probably just do that. And it's all working towards that, So it's all been like everything from incorporating Jonathan Davis into this film to getting jobs on, Wilfred and everything else. It's all been like one thing leading to another, and just saying yes to things, even if I'm not sure about it. Dude, Wilfred, I didn't know what I was terrified. It was just like, yeah, you got to go be VFX supervisor on this show. I'm like, wait, that's the show with Elijah Wood, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, that's on effects, right? He's like, yeah, just go and pretend like you know what you're doing. He's like, just have confidence. And Rob he was a character, Rob Hall. If you guys are familiar, his visual effects or his special effects and makeup and visual effects and directing were great. And he could be a huge pain in the ass, or he could be, the sweetest human being you've ever met. It's his shame. He had a lot going on, and I was, when he passed away, I was like kind of like in shock. I was like, holy shit, no one could do gore like him. No one could do on the budget that he had. Because you got Greg Nicotero and stuff, they can probably match him, but Rob really deserved a lot more praise than I think he got. And I wouldn't have a career if it wasn't for him. But
I was really looking forward to the third Laid to Rest, if he ever made, or clearly he can't make it now, but
yeah,
I was really looking forward to it because the second one did kind of end on a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And I don't know, did he talk to you about that?
Yeah, it was called Laid to Rest Exhumed. He had filmed a couple things in Germany as like a teaser to try to raise money. He was kind of like all over the place. He was working on some big projects. He was working on some small projects. The guy didn't really take time to breathe, and he wanted to do Laid to Rest 3, and amongst all the other stuff he needed to do to just, stay afloat and own a business and the stuff he wanted to do, I think it just got caught up in that. But yeah, he approached me and had some crazy ideas for effects and gore. I can't go over them
Oh,
because I don't know.
clear
I don't
up.
know. It might be someone might make it someday. I don't really know what's up with his estate or if he gave it to someone else. I know he did want to pass the baton at some point to a couple directors he mentioned to me, but I don't know if that's like if he could have just been saying that in one conversation with me and never meant it or never told anybody else.
Yeah, I kind of hope a part of me wants somebody to take up the mantle and do it. But then
Yeah.
again, it's been like so long, it's been like 10, 11 years, and it might not have his touch on it. So it might be totally
No,
different.
I will say this though, there are a couple people that I know that are amazing special effects and visual effects artists that do both, that were like basically stuck to Rob's side, for a long
Okay.
time, for a very long time, very, very close to Rob, basically ran his shop with him, like made things possible. Very small team. I can see them doing it specifically. One of them is like probably one of the best special effects people I've ever met in my life and one of the nicest people.
Okay.
And I think he would be able to do it justice. I don't want to name drop him because I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. I understand.
But there's one guy for sure that would like kill it. That would kill it.
I actually noticed I was looking at the cast of Devil's Tree. You got Chrome Skull in there. So I was like,
yeah, Nick's a good guy. I haven't heard from him in a little while, but he's awesome. He's a pain in the ass too, but I love him. He's like a brother.
So since we're on your visual effects, I actually I know it might not be up to date, but I seen your one video on YouTube where it was like a play on the Christmas Story.
Oh God.
Like, believe it or not, like I fucking like enjoyed the shit out of that. I thought it was awesome. Like I was like, damn, bro. Like, and then when it ended, I'm like, oh man, I wish this guy I wish this was just like I watched these two because it just reminded me of like these two guys that are just like obviously have done some dumb shit together before, so this isn't fucking new to them. So like that's what I really enjoy is this like I was just like I could see me and my friends being like, dude, just do it. It's fake, dude. It don't and then it happens and then we're like, uh-oh. Didn't expect that one. So yeah. Let's just try to rip you off of it. Like so like the whole thing of it, dude, just like how it came about, like, dude, that whole thing was great, dude. Just the way it went, like, and the realness of it, even though it was just like so hilarious. You're like, oh my god, like it was just great. Like the effects were great.
I'm so glad you liked that video. That's why I made Devil's Tree. 100%. That guy in the video, his name's Matt Milligan. He's an awesome actor. He just like he's not like great, like he's not like Ben Kingsley or something, but like he's just such a ham, like his facial expressions are awesome, and just like he really knows how to like emote and for comedy, I think. And way better than I'll ever be. But he's one of my best friends, and we just want to make movies and stupid videos like that. And so Devil's Tree initially 100% was supposed to be an extension of those videos we watched. And it was supposed to carry on from beginning to end. It was supposed to be basically Matt and Josh are idiots. And that's in there. It is in the film. I think some people, I fear, in the state it's in right now, which may change, but the state Devil's Tree is in right now, people might be a little disappointed because it is kind of as much a comedy as it is a horror movie. But what I wanted to do is make the dark parts and the horror parts very gory, very dark, very visceral, and the comedy parts very silly and irreverent, like It's Always Sunny or like Shaun of the Dead, like Nick Frost and Simon Pegg,
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think when people hear Jonathan Davis, they're like, oh, this dark figure, I want to see him like doing all this crazy stuff. And his character does a lot of really evil stuff. He does some funny stuff too, though. I want him to be able to have fun with it. So I'm afraid people might be disappointed at that. Holy shit, I just noticed Killer Clown. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Speaking of the Giotis brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why when you said something earlier, I was just like, I know our viewers at home can't see it right now, but yeah, I got Shorty from Killer Clowns. I actually got it at Spirit. I got it for 20% off. So I want to pay like $200 for them. So, and they sell out so quick on the internet. Like they're like $500-$600 online now. But it was funny that you mentioned that character earlier because
It's
actually,
so cool.
But yeah, but I don't really find the issue with comedy and horror movies, mixed together, as long as it's done well. There's actually this one movie, I don't know if either one of you guys seen it by chance, but it's called Don't Fuck in the Woods.
No.
It's
yeah,
just like,
I haven't seen it, but yeah, I've heard of it.
It's a great name.
It's just like it's so corny. It's just like if they fuck in the woods, the animal smells it and it kills them. So there you go. Basically,
I'm literally gonna hold on. I'm not gonna forget that. I don't need to write it down.
I don't know if it's never fuck in the woods or don't fuck in the woods.
I think
it's one of the
don't.
two.
I think it's a don't.
That's hilarious.
I saw it on. I mean, I didn't watch it, but I saw it. It was on something. It might have even been like on demand or something like Vudu or something like that.
Yeah, or Prime or something like that. Yeah, I think so. But I watched it a while ago. Like I rented it because I was just like, dude, this has to be. Because it was just like one of those 99-cent rentals, and I was just like, I mean, how dumb can this possibly? It's $1. I mean, like, am I gonna go bankrupt over $1? Probably not. Let me check my bank account because those $36 overfee. I don't really want to pay one of those. But yeah, but as long, like I was saying, as long as comedy in horror movies is done well, I mean, it's always there. I mean, no matter what, because one of my favorite movies is, believe it or not, the remake of The Evil Dead rather than the old Evil Dead movies. And I know I get so much shit for it. They're like, oh, Ash and all that. How you can? I was just like, because to me, it's gore. And then they're like, well, where's the comedy factor? I was like, here's the thing. There is comedy in it.
Yeah.
And because of this, when everyone gets hurt in that movie, explain to me why they use duct tape and it works. It keeps this dude that's been stabbed and got like gashes that you can fit your whole hand in, but duct tape is keeping him together. I mean, it wouldn't like bleed out and the duct tape wouldn't stick to him or nothing, but like somehow it's still stuck to him and he's alive.
Yeah, it's almost like a shock value comedy rather than like a silly comedy,
Yeah.
Which I like. I think it's awesome. And I agree. I do like the Evil Dead remake a lot. I think there's a lot of remake hate, justly so. But I do think there are some pretty great remakes out there too, and I think Evil Dead's one of them. At first, I was like, "Oof, you're kind of touching." It's a touchy subject for horror. That's like.
Yeah, especially
Evil Dead
Ash. But you know what? Something like that be good because because when you think about it, there could always be, a cross. They could always cross paths with Ash at some point. If they would have had Ash in that movie, it would have completely just destroyed it. They would have never had a chance to make another one. Everyone would have hated it, because there would have been a new Ash. And honestly, it would have probably not made me like it if there was another Ash, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because then it'd be like, oh, all right. Because then, you know what I mean? But at the same time, there are some remakes that some people don't even know that are remakes, like 13 Ghosts. You won't believe the amount of people that don't know 13 Ghosts is a remake. And it is a phenomenal movie. I got to meet Matthew Lillard couple years back, and I actually got to purchase his Scream script from back in the day with his rewritten parts, and that was really cool.
Wow.
But he was a phenomenal actor, and he's such a goofy guy, but in that movie he was so serious. And then again, here we go, we can bring back comedy into horror movies. Scream, goofiest thing when I watch back, I love the movie. You look back at it now and this dude, if Matthew Lillard, this big, huge dude, is getting his ass kicked by this girl that's like 5'3" and weighs $110, and he's getting his fucking ass whooped the whole movie, and it's stuff like that. It's just like when you try to make a horror movie way too serious, then it takes away the funness of a movie, I feel. And then when a movie has half and half, then it just makes a really enjoyable movie. So I feel like if you start, like, I love dark movies, but when you start trying to make it too dark, it's just like, okay, like it gets
you better
a little
be good at it. If you're gonna make a movie dark, you better be good at it. You better be able to take everyone who is a huge fan of horror movies and is completely desensitized, which is all of us here in present company, and give them something to be like, oh man, I feel weird about this, or this is going deeper than what I am normally into, which is very difficult to do. Like The Witch, I love The Witch. I don't find it as disturbing as like some people I know, but I was like, wow, this is a dark, serious movie with literally no comic relief, and it's done really well, like masterfully. It's a little art housey, but very art housey, not little. But if you're gonna do that, you better be fucking good at it. You better know exactly what you want and what you're doing, because it's so easy to fail. Like I don't think it would take me years to craft a movie that I intended to scare people with, because how do you even do that now? It's like impossible.
Yeah, fear is subjective.
I agree. I'd rather make a popcorn movie any day, which Scream to me is 100%. Like this is just, let's laugh and have a good time, and yeah, I agree.
All right. Since we're nearing the end of the episode here, I want to do this segment, and it's called "What's Your Favorite Scary Movie?" So, Josh, what is your favorite scary movie?
Oh, dude, my friends make fun of me because I'm constantly saying that's one of my favorite movies, to like every fucking movie.
That's how I am. Yeah.
I love so many movies, and it might even depend on what time you catch me is what's my favorite scary movie. I think I have to say, well, let me ask you this: scary on what level? Like, still scares me,
Or
because
just,
I don't think it exists anymore.
I mean, nowadays it's like it's hard because no matter what, it's already like you've seen it before, so nothing can really like truly scare you. But
Yeah.
like, I mean, just like a horror flick that you could throw on because you just want to watch it, just because it's something you're like, damn, dude, I'm gonna watch that because I want to, not because it's like, I'm bored, or not because like, oh.
This is like the hardest question for me to answer, because I literally watch movies every day, and I rewatch movies. Even back in VHS, I'd wear the tapes out. I can't pick one, so I'll give you a few. Okay, Aliens, 100%, just amazing movies. I love them.
Most definitely.
I'm big on creature stuff. I consider, as a kid, I considered Jurassic Park a horror movie. The T-Rex ripping the SUV apart with the kids in it. The first time you see that, it's like, holy shit, Steven Spielberg gonna kill more kids like he likes to. I gotta mention Jaws. Jaws is tattooed all over my arm. I'd feel dumb, but Jaws is a political thriller as much as it's a horror movie. The Thing, I can rewatch The Thing a million times. Tremors, I'm just gonna end up listing every movie that exists because I love movies, I have my favorites. I will say this though. I can say the most suspenseful movie, the most nerve-wracking movie I've ever seen to this day. That one I know. If you want that, and it's not even a horror movie. There's a movie called Sorcerer. Okay. Have either of you seen this movie?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Sorcerer with Roy Scheider from Jaws is the most suspenseful movie I've ever seen, and was giving me like horrible anxiety every minute of that movie. It's basically it's about these guys who have to traverse the jungle in these trucks, these shitty like trucks they made from basically scratch, and they have to carry dynamite through the jungle, except that it's been leaking, so it's really susceptible to exploding. Like if they go over a bump, they could die. And there's 3 trucks that are full of this dynamite, and they have to drive like 300 miles through the Amazon. And that's like the beginning of the movie. And then you're just watching it the whole time. And it is just, dude, it is nail biting. As far as horror goes, though, you'll never get that answer from me, because I can't. I love Park Chan-wook stuff, or Chan-wook Park stuff, like I said, Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, Thirst, which I think Midnight Mass, like Mike Flanagan definitely watched Thirst a couple times. I don't know if you've seen that movie. Old Boy, the Korean horror. I love I Saw the Devil. Actually, that's probably up there as I Saw the Devil.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was definitely a good movie.
I love everything about that movie. I don't really have many movies I don't like. It's kind of a problem. I think I have a fucking problem. It's just oof. I need a different question. Like what my favorite like creature is, or like killer or something.
Okay, I got one that you Mike could answer. After you're done with the Devil's Tree, it's out there. What is say like a popular franchise, horror franchise? Say the creators of that came to you and they want you to do the next one, remake it, not necessarily remake it, but get it back on track, or just do it. Like,
Okay.
what would that be if you had your choice?
Okay. Loaded. Okay. I don't feel like I deserve some of the movies that I would want to list, but if I'm being selfish, because I don't know if I could do better than other directors, and I would want the best director for the job. I think I would do a damn good job on Friday the 13th.
Yes.
I think I would absolutely do a good job on Friday the 13th. I just directed a music video for the band Head P. You guys remember Head P? They're still around. Yes. So that was supposed to launch on Halloween. I think it got delayed a little bit. It is 100% a homage to Friday the 13th, and you'll see some awesome kills in it. And they didn't hold back. We didn't have much of a budget, but I didn't care. I wanted to make a slasher, a 3-minute slasher where at least I think 5 or 6 people get slaughtered. So you'll see that at some point. Friday the 13th, Jaws 2. I would love for what they did with Halloween to happen to Jaws, and I think it's very doable.
With Richard Dreyfuss, maybe Richard Dreyfuss.
With Richard Dreyfuss, but
I
feel like that's
else.
the kind of thing. I mean, you can't beat Jaws, the first Jaws. No. Nothing, everything aligned perfectly on that. Between the actors and like, I think the effects, people are like, the shark looks fake, and I think that's what's scary about it, is like it looks like a robot kind of thing. It's weird. It doesn't look real, but it's real enough. You'll never get Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, and Roy Scheider again, that dynamic, or Lorraine Gary, or anybody else that's in that film. It's just, everything was just too perfect in a way. But I think there is a good sequel that can make maybe forget 2 through 4 out there somewhere.
At least 3.
That's not like a
Sharknado. 4. At least forget those.
Was that?
At least forget 3 and 4. I don't mind 2.
2's okay, but it's not like the same. It's not like the same.
It's kind of like a slasher movie, kind of, I guess. If you're really
I would love to do Friday the 13th. I would love to. I think you could do so much cool shit with Hellraiser, man, and it's just sitting on the shelf. And they're gonna remake it. I heard there's like a woman playing Pinhead, which I'm interested in seeing what they do with that.
Yeah, I think there's two of
But
them actually happening
yeah,
at the same time. Hulu's doing one, and there may be an actual movie. And
like a
I know
show and a movie or something.
Clive Barker's involved with one of them. I think. I don't know. I just see what I see on the internet. So
So it must be true.
Yeah,
it's
right.
true.
I would love to do a Home Alone movie also.
I can see you doing that. I can see it.
But
I can see
bring
it.
back. Here's the thing: bring back bring back Macaulay Culkin,
Mhm.
and have him like resent his rich dad, and he approaches the sticky bandits to try to do it. Make it a heist movie where they work together to try to rip their dad off and team them up.
You
That'd be
just
cool.
saying that
Something
that's
stupid.
already better than the crap we're gonna get later this month on Disney Plus.
Oh God, whatever it is, you can't
Dude,
watch
there's
it,
none
man. I
after
mean,
the
they're
second
kids'
one. Come
movies.
on now, dude.
With-
Fucking this.
There's one coming out on Disney Plus. It looks basically kind of like the first one. Like they're remaking the first one, but it's got they did say Macaulay Culkin was gonna make a cameo, but then they said he came out and said that wasn't true. But it's got the older brother Buzz, Devin, what's his face? He's gonna be like a cop or something. He's playing Buzz, like you see in the trailer. It says McAllister on his name badge. I was like, you could have done something a little bit better.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it. But
No. I mean, they're kids' movies at this point.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean-
once certain sequels come out, they just become kids' movies. I would love to take something like what they did with the Banana Splits movie was a
Yes.
really cool
I loved
concept.
it.
That for me, the movie, I was like, I'm a little iffy on that. I wish there was more kills, you know, like on screen, and just I expected, I think, a little. I had high hopes for like a lot of gore, and the gore was great, but it was just like little tastes, and I wanted more, which I guess isn't a bad thing. But I would love to see more stuff like that. Like take a franchise and flip it, like make a rated R Home Alone, or make something like that. I would love to see a Tremors reboot, like, or a sequel that isn't like 7 deep, that has these like overtly CGI things. I thought the first Tremors was such a solid movie, and I would just love to go back to square one. Oh, you know what? I got a definitive answer for you aside from Friday the 13th.
What's that?
If not Friday the 13th, Arachnophobia.
Ah,
Wow.
I would love to make an Arachnophobia movie. I am scared of spiders because of that. Probably because of that movie. When I was like very young, and I think there's just so much fun to be had. I wish 3D was still as popular, because I think if you made an Arachnophobia 3D, it would be like,
yeah.
that movie to me it's one of those weird movies where it has like a little bit of everything for everybody. Scream's like that. We have these scary elements, but lots of laughs and just fun stuff, and stuff that is scary for some people, other people are laughing at, like like the cats in the spider webs, and like weird stuff, like there's it's hard to and that's like one of Frank Marshall's only movies that he's directed, by the way, which he should do more.
It is.
I think that's a really hard place to hit, and I think only very few directors have the talent and have the passion to hit that mark that's like perfectly funny and fun and entertaining, but also scary and creepy. Like that's hard to balance. It's really hard to balance. And I think, when you get it right, you know about it, like Edgar Wright is very good at getting that right, that balance between like and laughs, which is why I think Shaun of the Dead was so successful. But I would love to do an Arachnophobia movie. I think that would be, it's time. Don't overly use CG. If you can still use real spiders like they did in that movie, do it, you know.
And make it in 3D. I like that.
Make it, yeah. I mean, 3D is kind of dead again, but it would be creepy, man. I would love like a theater experience. Like, do you remember the Tingler?
Yeah.
The movie
Yeah.
The Tingler with, yeah, oh, dude. The movie's like, I mean, it's so
No, it's
dated.
not good, but it'd be cool
It's
to
not.
do like that
But
William,
you
be in a
know,
William Castle type theater. See,
right. And when you were those movie theaters, they would have it like crawl across you by or go under your, under your feet, or like if someone got water or blood sprayed on them, they'd spray water on the crowd. Like
mhm.
that experience would be a lot of fun to put out there. And I haven't seen when's it been done? You go and see like certain movies, and like I went and saw The Room in theaters a couple years ago, and they give you like spoons to throw and like little footballs and shit like that. But like, where is the marketing for a movie that's like, let's make this interactive for at least like a couple showings?
Well, isn't
You
that
know?
kind of what 4D is? Like,
Yeah, I guess so. But where is it?
yeah,
Like
like I've heard
arachnophobia.
people talk about it, and it's like they went and saw what was the most recent movie someone told me. I think it may have been the James Bond movie. Uh, like they said, the seats were jerking and stuff like that. Like it was like an amusement park ride.
That's cool.
And it's like that.
I
I
would love,
want to try that. Try it at least once.
yeah, that seems like it'd be awesome. I want to do it with like I would love to do it with a horror movie though, and just come
Yeah.
out like covered in fake blood or
I think
something.
my idea, and I'm not saying that I'd want to make this movie because it would scare the crap out of me, but you said arachnophobia in 3D because spiders scare you. Mine is Anaconda in 3D because I hate snakes. I want to see a giant snake come out of the screen and scare the crap out of me. I went and took my kid to see that Snake Eyes movie, and we didn't watch it in 3D because I think they actually had it in 3D the first week. But in that movie, there's a moment with I think there's 3 giant anacondas in this cave, and it's like that would have been perfect to see in 3D to make me, shit myself.
So let me ask you this, Eric. I'm going to turn the table. I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah, what's up?
So what do you think is scarier? Okay, like a giant anaconda, or like a lot of like an infestation of like normal like size rattlesnakes or something?
Probably the giant one because that's the. I mean, I hate snakes. I'm like Indiana Jones, and I don't really know why I hate snakes that much. That's the thing, but probably the giant one that's just centered on me, and I'm, I don't know. The one big one would scare me more because it could eat me. The infestation of rattlesnakes, they could bite me, and I'd still die more than likely, but they wouldn't eat me.
Well, there's no snakes in Devil's Tree, so
I mean, it's fine. I
won't be
don't
too
mind them in
scared.
the screen in the TV. Just want to see them in real life. So
All right. So, thank you, Josh, for coming on the episode. It's really awesome to have you on. Before we go though, is there a release date that's gonna be for Devil's Tree at the moment, or is that up in the air?
So it's up in the air. We don't have distribution yet. I've gotten some offers over the years because Devil's Tree's been in post production for a very long time.
yeah. Well, you
and
said Dave Brocky. You were thinking about having him. So he died in what 2012, 13?
yeah, I mean, we shot this movie in 2013.
Oh,
And
wow.
we
Oh.
finished principal photography in technically 2013.
Oh, okay.
And then we went back and did some reshoots. We had some camera issues, and I have been, if you watch a movie, and I don't mean this in like an egotistical way or anything, but if you watch a movie and you see the post production side of it, it's just names, they're scrolling up.
Mm-hmm.
I have had to do the majority of every job for post production. My friend AJ Baronato, who I'm going to name drop, he's an amazingly talented editor. and sound designer. He's helped me along the way, but it is not a two-person job, especially when you have corrections to make and things to fix. So, you know, and to be honest with you, I'm just going to lay it out. It's not originally, and still partially, wasn't the movie I wanted to make. And
Well, I mean,
I've had
never is. It's always you
no,
make three
well,
movies. It's the movie in your head, the movie you shoot, and the movie you ultimately complete. I can't remember where I heard that.
yeah, yeah,
I think it
yeah.
was
They
Jason,
say
not Jason Isaacs. The guy that did Jason X, something Isaacs.
I know who you're talking about.
He passed away
Now
too, actually.
now I can't remember either. Yeah, I mean, they say that, you know, there's you make the movie 3 times with the script, the edit, and when you shoot it, or, you know, they say this a lot. But this was more or less decisions that weren't necessarily mine, and things that had popped up, and people that have altered the film in a way where it's been since 2013. I could have put this out the year later, and I have been having trouble coming to terms with what it has ended up, and wanted to correct it. And I've spent a long time correcting it and reshooting and redoing things, and you know, modifying it, you know, getting Jonathan Davis involved again, you know, like he recorded you know, we did all his stuff in 2014, like right after we finished filming. And then you know, I went back and did it again with them. And then just more recently in 2018, I met with Jonathan again, and we were like, we can make this better. Let's do this. You know, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist sometimes, and it wasn't hitting a spot where I was like, I don't want to put this out, you know. Now it's there. So as far as release dates go, I've been approached by a lot of distributors over the years. A lot of them are bullshit artists or aggregators that are just trying to get as many movies as they can, throw them all up on like Amazon Prime, which you can do yourself. Like anybody can do that now. But throw them on Prime or something, and then they've just cast a huge net. So even though those movies are making pennies, they just bought like, you know, 5,000 movies, so they're all making pennies and they're all getting all of it. You know, I'm not gonna fall for any of that. I know Jonathan's name. I don't think I knew how much interest it would gain. I just kind of, you know, was hopeful, but never really knew until recently, until this announcement. But I think we're gonna hold out until we get somewhat of a decent offer, with a decent distributor that I know is going to carry it over the finish line the right way. You know, for me, it's not about money. It's 100% about who's going to nurture this film and put it out there. I'd rather take a small check and then have a distribution company actually care and try to make it, try to push it and put it out there so that people can watch it and people know about it, than take a big check and then it just gets buried, you know, and it's the dollar store bin, you know, DVD like within a year. So it's about waiting. And I mean, with this announcement with Jonathan, hopefully stuff starts coming in, and then we can sell it. So right now it doesn't have a release date. I will say this though, I want it to be out in 2022. Fall of 2022 is what I would like. If I don't see a good deal by then, who knows, I might put it out myself, and just make it cheap and accessible, you know, for as many people as possible. So we'll see, possibly fall of 2022 either way. And I have some other stuff I'm working on that might even come out before it, believe it or not. So we'll see.
I'll definitely be on the lookout for it.
Yeah,
I'm definitely intrigued.
Definitely check out when the Head PE video launches. I'll send you guys a link. That's going to be a lot of fun.
All right.
I think people dig that. So
We'll definitely post it up on all of our social media so everyone at home can check that out for sure too.
cool. Thank you. I appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys asking me to do this too. It's nice. It's nice to talk to other horror fans, and people who love the genre. You can tell, you can tell you guys are deep diving, between just your background alone, like it's just like awesome. Mine's it's dark, but it's similar. You can probably see my Jason mask or my alien head. But
I didn't even notice my master in the background. This is only my bedroom. This ain't even like my full horror room. So
that's awesome.
but yeah, again, Josh, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure talking to you about everything, and we definitely appreciate you just as well coming on the show to talk about this. Especially being our first guest as a rebranded podcast, so we definitely appreciate that a lot.
Oh man, I appreciate you asking. It's awesome. I like the show, and I think you guys are going to do really well with it.
Well, we thank you. All right. Well,
All right.
close us out, Michael.
All right. Well, again, thanks everyone. Check out Petrino's upcoming movie, The Devil's Tree. It should be coming out hopefully next year. Just be on the lookout on his social medias as well, and especially all the big announcements that this is getting and stuff. I'm pretty sure you're gonna see it all over social media, even if it's not from Josh himself, because this movie seems like it's gonna be a very big hit when it drops.
Yeah, it seems like it's really taken off. That's what it seems like, anyway. So,
Hope so. Thanks, guys.
all right. Well, you have a good night, and thanks everybody for listening. Check us out on Instagram, YouTube soon. And then I just now set it up where it should be on iTunes and Stitcher and stuff like that. So yeah. All right. Well,
Again, we are the Devil Walks Among Us podcast.
all right. Goodbye, everybody.